So I'm going to talk a little bit about how to use Aurasma Studio to create augmented reality. So if you haven't already looked at Molly's Quick Tech by TM challenge on using the Aurasma app and an introduction to augmented reality, then you should go ahead and do that first. This particular challenge will actually build off of that. So it is important for you to sort of have a basic understanding of what augmented reality is and what the Aurasma app will do. So a little bit of my rationale for putting this challenge up. I do work at a one-to-one Chromebook school, so I'm always looking for ways to try to better integrate Chromebooks into the classroom. And so I did have a few teachers who I went to and asked if they would be interested in kind of playing around and trying some augmented reality. And I had one particular teacher who definitely wanted to take me up on my offer. And we thought about some of the things that she had planned for the rest of the school year. And we found a great way to turn a project that she already had created into an augmented reality project. So my guide that I'm going to show you today basically goes over how to use Aurasma Studio to create augmented reality on a Chromebook. Now, this isn't just for a Chromebook. You can also use a laptop or a personal computer. However, I am going to talk a lot about the Chromebook itself because, like I said, we are a one-to-one Chromebook school. So the video is going to be a little bit different. Instead of me walking you through the entire process of doing this, I'm going to kind of show you my guide, show you what it has to offer. And then I'm going to end the video there so that you can actually go and try to play and come up with, some of your own augmented reality. So what you'll find is that I do have the guide embedded on the challenge page. I also have links to a couple of videos that I'm going to talk about that you can for some things you can use on your Chromebook to help you actually record videos. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about where you can learn some more information, how you can challenge yourself further. And I will also, there will also be some pictures, trigger images, on the challenge page that you can use your cell phone or mobile device to scan so that you can trigger that augmented reality. Okay, so my guide is here, and basically it's a 5-page guide that I painstakingly put together to help our students as they got started with augmented reality. I will tell you that before I introduced any of this to the kids, I actually tried it from a student account. I have a dummy account. And I tried it from a student account to make sure that nothing would be blocked, that they could add the extensions onto their Chromebooks for recording videos, et cetera, et cetera. I do want to say that whenever you are using technology or whenever you're using a technology tool, you definitely need to test it first. Never go in blind without testing it from a student's account. Just because it works from your staff account does not always mean that students will have the same access. So it's really, really important to do that. So basically, my guide starts out by giving them some vocabulary. And the way that I introduced this to them is I actually created some Google Slides to go over the vocabulary, to go over things they needed to think about to prepare. We created an aura together. I walked them through the entire process step by step with my Chromebook connected to the big screen TV so that they could actually see each step happening. I showed them literally from taking a picture for my trigger image, emailing it to myself, downloading it to my Chromebook, uploading it into Aurasma Studio. We created a video together using Clipchamp. I mean, we did all of it together, which really helped them. But they also had this guide that I created so that when I wasn't there, they were still able to mimic the steps that we went over. So I start out here by giving them the vocabulary, what a trigger image is, what an overlay is, and what an aura is. If they don't understand that, it's really difficult for them to follow the guide. Then we talked about how to prepare. The fact that creating the aura during this project is the very, very last thing that they actually do. So they had to know what their content was going to be. They had to take their trigger image picture. they had to have their overlay video recorded. And if they chose not to do those things with their Chromebook, then they had to have that stuff downloaded to their Chromebook, whether it meant taking it from your phone and getting it to your Chromebook by uploading it into Google Drive, or emailing it to yourself, or connecting your phone to a computer and saving it on the computer. Whatever that meant, they had to have that on their Chromebook. So we talked a lot about that, and how, they can't jump right into the Aura until they have that stuff created. I also talked to them about using Screencastify and using Clipchamp. Screencastify is what I'm using now to record this screencast. They were given the option to do that because some of them did not want to show their faces. So they prepared slides or backgrounds, their own little videos, and they took or they used that to capture their screen while they talked about what they were explaining with their project. And Clipchamp actually allows them to take selfie videos. So that's a really easy extension to add to their computer, or add to their Chromebook. So we talk a little bit about that. Then I get into the actual guide. The guide basically starts with how to create an Aura. And the way that we did this was, instead of them all having their own Aurasma accounts, we actually used Aurasma Studio. Now, Aurasma Studio and the Aurasma app are two separate things. However, they are connected if you use the same login. So what we did, for the sake of allowing 30 to 50 kids all able to log into an account and be creating auras at the same time, we used Aurasma Studio. And I actually contacted them to make sure that we wouldn't blow up my account by having that many people logged in. And they assured me that it would be fine. So at any given point, we had 30 plus kids logged in. So I made a generic library account with a username and a password that were actually the exact same thing. And they were able to log in. And this walks them through the process when they log in. I have screenshots here. Everything is circled in yellow that they need to see. And it literally tells them step by step by step what to do. So if they follow my directions, they can't get it wrong. Now, that's not to say that some of them didn't, some of them didn't get it wrong. Many of them were like, oh, I skipped a step, or I thought I did that, but I didn't. And a lot of them skipped step 11 because they thought they had already, it told them that their Aura was saved, but they forgot to actually click share, which makes it public so other people can scan it and trigger the augmented reality. But anyway, so this is the guide. It is very easy to follow. And during the challenge, you are actually going to read through this guide and try to go step by step using Aurasma Studio so that you are able to walk through the process that your students would walk through. The last part of the guide actually shows them how to use the Aurasma app. So what they did was we all logged into Aurasma Studio under the libraries account. Then what we did is I had them all download Aurasma onto their phones or their devices, or you can have, I let a few borrow iPads, but they all had to create their own Aurasma account. Now, this was not for creating auras for this project. Their personal Aurasma accounts were for actually going on their gallery walk and scanning all of their classmates' artifacts for the project. So this shows them, exactly what they're going to see on their phone, how to download the app, and then how to follow the public channel. So just make sure that you are distinguish that for them, that they aren't actually creating the auras in the app on their phone, that they are using the web-based or browser-based Aurasma Studio. So when you go to Aurasma Studio, this is what it looks like. And you just sign in. And when you log in, it's going to take you to this generic screen that shows you just general auras that are being featured or that are popular. But you and it walks them through the process. But I'll show you here under my auras, we have at this point 77 that were created by students. So that's just to show you that there's 77 auras. They all contain videos and we haven't maxed out our space yet in our account. So you can fit a whole lot of stuff in here. Again, we used the same account in Aurasma Studio to create our auras because in order to actually be able to trigger the augmented reality, you have to be following that particular person's public channel. And so I didn't want the kids to have to all follow each other's channels because that could mean that you have like to type in 30 different people's user IDs to follow their channel. So this way it made it really easy. It also made it easy for administrators, other teachers, people from the community that came to our gallery walk. All they had to do was follow some very simple directions for logging into Aurasma, creating an account very quickly, and following the library's public channel. So it just makes it much easier for you if you're using augmented reality with numerous participants. Okay, so that's basically my guide. Like I said, on the challenge page, you will find these same links here, one for the video on how to use Clipchamp and one for my tutorial on how to use Screencastify. So again, you just kind of need to play with it, get in there, look at the guide, play around, create some augmented reality, and make sure for the challenge that you go to the discussion forum and you talk about your experience. You insert your trigger image so that we can scan it, but also tell us what the name of your public channel is. That way we can follow you and we can scan your trigger image and that augmented reality will pop up. If you have any questions, you can go to the discussion forum, post your questions there. You can fill out our contact form or feel free to email or tweet to us and we will be happy to help you.